So we're going to take a look at this portable monitor by UPERFECT, maybe under other brand names as well. So just take a look and see if it matches what you're seeing online. So let's take a look, see what's in the box. Okay, fair number of cables there. So we've got a USB-C cable, I think. USB-C to USB, standard USB there. HDMI cable. And USB-C to USB-C. What's in here? Got a power adapter. So got the UK spec power adapter there. So that's 5 volts, 3 amps. And then it says also that it outputs 9 volts at 2, 12 volts at 1.5. Okay, let's have a look in here. So we've got the user manual and then the unit itself. Okay, so it comes in this sort of faux leather casing, which actually feels pretty decent. It's reminds me very much of the iPad case that you can get. So that sort of folds around, and that its surface is rubberized. That actually feels pretty decent, decent quality there. Then we've got the settings on the side and a USB on the go port, and then round the other side got HDMI, mini DisplayPort, USB-C and USB-C for power. So that one I'm guessing is USB to power it and to display if you've got that capability on your laptop. So I went for one which has more connectors. You can get other ones which even have touch ability on the screen, but they only have the USB-C connector on there. But I thought best get one with the HDMI adapter, and then it has the ability to connect up to your Nintendo Switch or other devices that don't display through USB-C. Another thing you'll notice on the edges are these little holes, and that's actually for the speakers that are on both sides. They're not the best speakers, as you can probably tell by the kind of width of this thing. It's not going to produce much sound, but it's good enough. And if you look at the controls on the side here, you've got a power button, and then it's interesting because you've got an OSD button, so that's the on-screen display, and a back button. These two are multifunction, so if you press the volume control first, then you can use plus and minus, and then if you press this one first, then you can use plus and minus to increase and decrease the brightness. So it just depends which one you press first for what operation it's going to do when you press plus and minus. So that's worth just bearing in mind. And unlike some panels, when you do use the brightness function, it will save it between power up and power down. I've seen comments against other branded panels which don't save the brightness, and you need to reset it every single time you power the monitor up, which is pretty annoying. So the unit itself, so that's magnetized. And what we've got around the back here is, again, not all the models have this, but I wanted the mounting option so that I can have that on some kind of arm or stand, and that's what I've got set up. We've got a little hole down in this corner there you can poke a pen through and use it as a stand that way, so the pen just pops through the back and then it will relax into being a stand like that. Some models do have a pencil or a pen with it. This one doesn't particularly, but I'm sure you've got your own pens. And there's the screen. So we've got slightly rubberized feet on this corner. I guess when you've got it, if you are standing it up with a pencil or a pen through that hole, then the rubberized feet are going to help so it doesn't slip around. And then there's not a lot else to it from what I've shown you. And yeah, so you pop it into the case with the magnetic side. Get this out of the way. And I can feel those magnets starting to kick in there. And then get it into the right place, and cover that over. I mean, it feels heavy. I mean, it's portable, but that adds a fair amount of weight if you are popping it in a laptop bag and taking it with you. But obviously, the unit itself is a bit lighter than the case, and that at the same time. So if you're actually just carrying the unit, obviously you're going to have to be careful not to scratch it, but that is a lot lighter without that case. Okay, so we've got our scales out. Let's see how heavy that case actually is. So 394 grams, and then the monitor itself 844. Okay, so we've got it in the case here, and if we open it up, you can see how it's magnetized on the top there, but then you can put it into that kind of mode and then give you different angles to view this at. You can even do it without the particular slots that they've put in place there, if you just wanted it up like that. That's quite grippy because of the feet on the screen itself, and then this rubberized surface really does make it just stick in there. Then I've maybe seen online how they do fold in, so you can fold that in there like that if you didn't want the whole thing out. So let's now try it with a few different devices. So first up, we've got the Nintendo Switch. So we just need to hook up HDMI and power it. So it powers up there because it's not USB-C device. So turn the Nintendo Switch on, and there we go. Colours are decent. It's bright enough to be using in the kitchen here, and looks good. So that was dead easy. So very simple to get that working, and sounds coming out of those speakers a little bit on the tinny side. You have got that headphone jack on the side, so that kind of does make up for the fact that the speakers aren't that fantastic. You can hook up a pair of headphones or external speakers. And now we've got the iPad Air 4, which has a USB-C connector, and we're going to hook that straight up. Now over here we've got it plugged into power, and we'll plug in the USB-C cable for the display. There we go. And that's looking pretty good. Now it remembers the display brightness, and let's have a look. So that's the volume. Brightness it's remembered from last time, and it remembers that on a per input basis. So if you've increased the brightness on the HDMI connection, that doesn't reflect on the USB-C connection. I just found earlier that it was down at like number 10 on brightness, so I've just increased that for the USB-C connection, and that's looking good. Okay, so what you can also do is have the iPad power the whole screen, so you don't need the power cable in. Obviously it's going to take up a fair amount of the iPad's power, but if we take the power lead out, and there we go. That's purely powered by the iPad now for both the power and the display. So that's pretty cool. And responsiveness, it's looking really good. And last of all, we've got my Galaxy S9. So we'll plug that in. Again, just over USB-C. And we're going to power it using the adapter because it really does take the charge out of the phone pretty quick. And the interesting thing about the Galaxy line of phones is that you get this Samsung Dex desktop environment. So you can actually link up a mouse and a keyboard, and this becomes your place where you can work on a nice big screen, and your phone screen is separate from what you're seeing on the screen here. So you can open up Chrome browser and do work in there, or your email, whatever. Like I said, you can power it from the phone, but it really does take up a lot of the power out of the battery. And it looks like now that I've plugged the power into here, this is actually charging the phone at the same time through that power cable. So that's pretty cool. I've been using this screen for about a week with my laptop. I've got that mounted using the mounting holes on the back onto a monitor stand, and it's been great. The clarity on the screen is really nice. It's sharp. There is a sharpness setting in the menus that's set to 2 by default. I did try turning that off and it does make it worse. It looks nice with that sharpening that they're applying to the screen. There's very little light bleed on this particular unit. I've seen some people complain on theirs, so just watch out which unit you get and whether it's to your taste. But mine has been absolutely fine for viewing things in the daylight, and the color balance just seems about right. I don't think it'll blow you away, but for the price, this is a good screen, and I like the fact that it's compact, portable, and has a multitude of uses. So overall for the price, and I paid about £140, the price does vary on Amazon. I've seen it go up to about 180, but I did find this on eBay for around 140. I'm really happy with that. I think because of that flexibility of mounting it or not, the portability, and the connectors that this one has compared to others where it's just USB-C, I think this gives it the edge over those. I don't need touchscreen. Like I said, the speakers are a little bit weak, but yeah, they're pretty good for what they are. But the connectivity on this is superb. So from me, it's a big thumbs up, and I would recommend it. Hopefully this video has given you an insight into all the different connectors and the kind of quality we've got there and what you get in the box. Let me know in the comments if you've got any feedback or if you've got any questions, and I'm happy to answer those. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.